Shalom. Call halal Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai Bahasham Rakaha Kudash. Double honors unto the apostles, double honors unto the elder bishops. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so now more so than ever. The would-be judges, the 144,000, 12,000 men from each of the 12 tribes of Israel mentioned in Revelation 7th chapter, to be the judges to enforce the law as on earth as in heaven, according to the Lord's prayer. All right, the judges of the whole earth, the new Jerusalem coming down. Heaven will be here on earth, and it will be controlled by men chosen by the Lord from the 12 tribes of Israel. Ezekiel 34:31. All right, the tabernacle of the Lord rests with men. And what men? The 12,000 judges, the 144,000, 12,000 men from each of the 12 tribes of Israel. Something that the churches try to talk around, that people like Vocab Malone, try to ignore that fact. All right. And to the rest of the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth among the heathen nations that have the appearance of the heathen nations. All right. The Lord is sending back the angels to gather them up. All right. The elect, not all of them, only the elect. All right. And to the few Akwaf that are listening and learning, who are also part of that elect. All right. The Lord is coming back for the elect of Israel. Okay. The rest of Israel will receive the blessings when they're born back into the kingdom through the Israelites that make it on the first trip. Point blank, period. That is the gospel. That is the doctrine. That is the truth of the Bible that is not being told. All right. So to you, I say shalom. This is your brother Malcolm from the branch of the great millstone, coming at you another lesson in truth. And this is one of those brutal lessons too, because it's a continual of yesterday's live show. The teachers, the disciples had a disciples meeting at the main house where we gather. Myself and certain brothers didn't make it to the street ministry because of a tournament that the brothers entered in. One of the brothers, his matches lasted a long time. They put like 2 hours in between. It was crazy. So, normally we go and we compete and that's all over with, and then we're able to make the line. But we weren't able to get out, so we decided to go to the main house to do a lesson after the tournament, which was really good. Brothers got out and did their thing. Brothers made me proud yesterday. A lot of gold medals, a few silvers, a few losses, but more wins than losses. So, I feel I must be doing something right with them. But I decided, because we usually go out, and it's pizza, cheat day. Yeah, pizza after a tournament. All right. In our favorite spot, well, at least mine, most of the brothers don't disagree. The Lord shut them down. They out of business. So America's shutting down. So it's sad, but we're happy at the same time. All right. So anyway, upon showing up to the main house, all the disciples were there. So we just decided to do a live show. All right. So we just went live, and it started off one thing, and then ended up getting on the end of these 2/3 women. All right, the women of the tribes, and through the spirit, this video, when I got home, and I was tired by the time I was on my feet all day, screaming over that crowd, trying to scream instructions, to brothers while they're in battle. Trying to coach him through those battles, and just was literally on our feet all damn day long, because we started early and didn't, like I said, we were there all day. I can imagine what my professor and the people who were refereeing, man. But came home after all that was over to this video, all right, which was put up by the brother ICR Yasharala. So I'm going to play this video. And you can see what's on the screen, Ecclesiasticus. We're going to read quite a few scriptures from there. 26 and 8. And that 26th chapter is not a very friendly chapter toward wicked women. Notice I said wicked women, right? And it's way more wicked women than it is righteous women. As a matter of fact, a righteous woman is very far in between, all right? It's even harder to find a righteous woman than it is to find a righteous man, all right? And simply today, you know, a righteous woman would simply be one who's trying to follow the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of her ability at this point, because we're already an adulterous and defiled people. All right, all of us are. All of our every one of us our righteousness is as filthy rags. Okay, as simple as that. Only by mercy, you know, are any of us have a chance of getting out of what's about to happen. What is happening? We're in the beginning stages of Jacob's trouble. Some people, they're dying. So to those people, the Jacob's trouble has come and claimed them, but it's only going to get worse. All right, but it says, but this is Ecclesiasticus 26 and 8, and it reads, a drunken woman and a gatherer abroad causeth great anger, and she shall not cover her own shame. And collectively, our women, you know, do not cover their shame, man. All right, and the woman in Chicago, ninjas in general, you know, ninjas is ninjas everywhere, all over America. But, you know, believe me when I tell you, all right, my man X was wrong. The worst ninjas are not the ninjas in New York. There are no ninjas worse than the ninjas in Chicago. These are the epitome. Other ninjas look up to these ninjas, reverence these ninjas. They even give them props when they show up in other states and cities, man. They admire their ninja-ness so much. The Chicago ninjas are the worst ninjas in all of Israel, 100%, man. These are the worst, man. And it's like, damn, man, but this is our assignment. This is where we woke up. This is our station. We are on the front line in one of the worst parts of the belly of the beast to do this work. All right? And it's shameful. It's shameful. So I'm going to play this video. Let me turn the sound up and let Sister Girl look like she's straight out of the 70s tell you what time it is, because this ninja woman told the truth on the rest of you heifers out there. Okay, this woman might, as a matter of fact, you know, this woman, somebody probably claimed her. All right, she might be one of the few that make it out of here. Ooh, ain't that the truth? And it's funny, all these were the scriptures that I planned on reading. All right, well, some of them. I got other ones, you know, in my head that definitely are gonna speak upon. But yeah, this, I told you that that's Sirach or Ecclesiasticus, the 26th chapter. It goes hard on the wickedness of women, man. And it's basically, you know, when these visions were given, it was, you know, and if that was what was going on now, you know, and I mean, that was going on back then. Man, our ancestors, if they, you know, if I mean, you know, understanding reincarnation and how we come back, but if they were able to see what we were doing today, collectively, you know, our own people wouldn't recognize us. They would disown us. Right? They you know, a lot of these young ninjas would be gathered up in the town square to be stoned to death. All right, but that's okay. The rules of heaven on earth as in heaven. Those rules, all right, they're coming back. Okay, and fortunately for you Israelites, you're gonna be made perfect, but the rest of the world will be under those laws, and the Israelites are going to enforce them. So this type of behavior will not be allowed in the kingdom of heaven. All right, at all.
I stand with NDIRE for speaking out against twerking at Essence Fest. Thank you, sis. So we got all these hoes out here splitting their asses and vaginas wide open. Yeah, she ain't had no panties on. and you got every infection and you want a nigga to eat that shit, but you done had it, you done drug it all across the goddamn floor, the janitors and shit, and drug the nasty mop, the mop water, and you done put your pussy, the womb, the damn portal of life and death.
Your queen, all right? That nasty mop water then soaked up, that mop then soaked up piss and shit and spit, cigarette ashes, the damn weed ashes. You gonna drag that nasty ass snatch, that loose ass used up, then train ran on it, box across the floor. Nasty ass.
You just put the shit on the floor and drag it around like a goddamn bitch in heat. That's what I see. You know how dogs look when they drag their ass around because they got worms? That's what I see with all this twerking. Like, what the fuck is in your ass? You need to get out so much. Sit down. Just, you don't know what to do with your energy. True, check your sisterhood. Check the next time you see that Cardi B video and you twerking and twerking. Ask yourself, what the fuck am I twerking for?
Exactly.
How is this edifying my community? How is this edifying me? How is this edifying my children? When I shake my naked ass on stage and get out in front of the world and put my camera on, what am I representing about my black community? What am I saying about my legacy? I'm representing my mother, my father, my ancestors.
And you also, you know, this the same thing goes for the Northern Kingdom, for the so-called Latin community. And now the Edomite women and the heathen women are doing it too. All right? That's how you know Judah, who Judah is, man. Because every wickedness that Judah do, the rest of the nations eventually do it, man. All right? Fashion. Judah's the leader in everything, man. All right?
And right now, you at war. And all you represent is some slaves that's been dumbed down, you've been brainwashed, and you've been fucked into submission. Mm-hmm. So now all you want to do is fucking just stay down.
Exactly. I was just about to read that. Matter of fact, this is Ecclesiasticus 26 and 22. And it reads, a harlot shall be counted as spittle. That's spit. All right? But a married woman is a tower against death to her husband. A wicked woman is given as a portion to a wicked man, but a godly woman is given to him that feareth the Lord, man. And you know, I'm waiting for my women, man. I am not seeking, trying to, you know. I got a few lined up, and then whatever the Lord, you know, send me. All right, maybe, well, actually just one. Okay, that's lined up for to start me off on. I got a bunch, you know, that people that I don't, you know, that I never met in my life. You know, people that I just, you know, I see and I'm attracted to, and I, you know, say a silent prayer. But I mean, but my wife, you know, that you know, I've never even touched her. And so I'm just waiting on the Lord to bring me my woman, man. Because if you think, man, just give up on it, man. Really. But I'm going to just leave it alone. But it says a wicked woman is given as a portion to a wicked man, but a godly woman is given to him that feareth the Lord. A dishonest woman contemneth shame, but an honest woman will reverence her husband. A shameless woman shall be counted as a dog, but she that is shamefaced will fear the Lord. And you know, and the first thing of fearing the Lord is obeying him, man. And to have a woman that uplift you and has, you know, that helps you, and it don't always have to be financially, you know. Just to have a woman that will uplift you in speech and support you, you know, can be an amazing thing when the world is constantly, you know, beating on you. Okay? But these women here in Babylon, Lord have mercy, man. Okay? And then they get rewarded for wickedness. And you have to understand, brothers, this was part of the curses. That you also have to remember that our women, one of the reasons why we go through this is because of what we did. You know, a lot of brothers, we be so quick to attack the wickedness of the woman, but you got to understand, it was us betraying Yahushai, and that was part of the curses. We were warned, all right, when he said in Amos, the book of Amos 7:17, it reads, "Therefore thus saith Yahweh, thy wife shall be a harlot in the city. Thy sons and thy daughters shall fall by the sword." So our wives are out here bogus, man. All right. My wives have done it. Your wives have done it. And when I was in the world, I was one of them wicked niggas that wives ran to. You know, the Wadi Yahweh Bashem Abashai, and I'm, you know, I'm ashamed of those things when I think back on them, man. You know, part of the reason why my punishments are so, because just because the Lord loves you, man, don't mean, or he's, you know, using you, don't mean he won't punish you. All right, he never did take away Paul's afflictions. All right, and he loved David like no other, and he still punished David. All right, so you have to think about that. It says, "Therefore thus saith Yahweh, thy wife shall be a harlot in the city, and thy sons and daughters shall fall by the sword." And I know, you know, of course, and here in Babylon, children are the target. Even Edomite children are targets here in this place. But, you know, it's our children collectively that are snatched up and disappeared. And, you know, they don't even, the milk cartons, they, you know, they stopped doing that because that was just so shameful. The records were in their face. So they stopped doing that. They used to put them on the sides of milk cartons. And it was always a little, you know, so-called Hispanic native kid or a little Negro kid on those boxes. Mostly the Northern Kingdom. They get trafficked, you know, trying to come back and forth across the border, right? And it talks about Babylon and its traffic. Well, people are part of that. I mean, how many Taken movies, how many movies they have to show you that they still, you know, traffic children and women across, you know, across this country and from this country and all throughout Europe and Asia. And it's always Edomite men behind it, usually Amalek. But it says, "And thy land shall be divided by line." The Holy Land is divided, and other people are in it. All these prophecies have come to pass. "And thou shalt die in a polluted land." We are in the most polluted place. The name of this video is American Whorehouse Culture. All right, you heard what she said. All you got to choose from, well, actually you don't. You better off getting with a heathen on this side, real talk. You know, and some brothers will speak against that and disagree with it. But yeah, the Micah 7:10 is real. Then you going against what the Lord say and going you and your feelings. "And thou shalt die in a polluted land, and Israel shall surely go into captivity forth in his land." So in this wicked place, we're in captivity, and our women, starting with the so-called black woman, the head tribe, the Judites, are definitely against her men and against all Israel for the most part. Micah 7:10 is real, is very real when it says, "She that is my enemy shall see it and shame," you know. As a matter of fact, instead of me messing it up, I'll just read it. Okay. This is Micah 7:10. And it reads, "Then she that is my enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her, which saith unto me, Where is Yahweh thy power? My eyes shall behold her. Now she shall be trodden down as the mire in the streets." You see them getting snatched up by ICE. You see them getting their ass beat all over the place, getting shot down. Sandra Bland. You know, that other chick, you know, they got shot, and then they tried to pin the murder on her boyfriend. Say it was his fault. Okay? I mean, it happens all day, every day, man. Okay? Then you got men in America, you know, getting their passports and going to get wives, and then they try to clown them. And okay, that's because they can't get with American women, and they broke down. Yeah, and they just come up with all these excuses instead of correcting their behavior. All right? You know, I talked about the video in the video yesterday about the young man who watched his girlfriend, who ended up at a party at the same spot where his girlfriend was, which is why she tried to tell him to stay indoors, not to leave out. All right, he ended up he checked his phone and noticed that her location was in the same place he was, so he started looking for her, and he watched her get led up the stairs by two men, one holding her hand in front of her, one holding her hand behind her. She in the middle of them, holding both their hands, walking up the stairs to go to the room, and stopped and kissed both of them. Kissed the guy behind her first, turned around and kissed the guy in front of her, and kept going up the stairs. He watching the whole thing in shock and awe. Shocked. All right. Then he finally, you know, I guess he could work up out of his stupor, and he walks up the steps to go to find her, and he opens up the door, and she penetrated from the front and the back. Yeah. And he just closed the door and walked away, which is what he should have did. Because if he did, you know, she wasn't worth you going to jail for, bro. He did the right thing. But then I'll screenshot you. This was from the video, and it was on the actual text message that he showed his phone in their conversation. I think I screenshotted that. Let me see. Let me find it. Damn, I might have deleted it. Did I delete it? I did. Damn it, I deleted it. Yeah, after using it in speech yesterday, I decided to, I got rid of it. But basically, the text message said something, because you could, you know, if time permits, I'll actually go find the video and play that portion. But she wrote in the text message, they were too deep inside me. It was too much in my mouth for me to tell them to chill out, to stop. Because he was like, what you mean you didn't mean to do it? You had two whole dicks in you. And that was her response. And he showed the text message, the conversation. All right? So this place is wicked, man. And you'd be amazed how many men are victims of things like that, and how many women do that. And then those women want to get married later on. Let's give you an example. This one right here. What the hell?
So, what were you saying about not having fun?
I'm done having fun. I'm done having fun. I had so much fun in my 20s. So much fun with so many men. Too much fun, honestly. I think I, reached the fun limit. But I'm serious.
With so many men, she
So,
said.
what were you saying about not having fun?
I'm done having fun. I'm done having fun. I had so much fun in my 20s. So much fun with so many men. Too much fun, honestly. I think I, reached the fun limit. But I'm serious about dating. I'm in my 30s. I have a plan. I have a time frame. I have deadlines.
Right.
I want a baby in a year. I just froze my eggs. I want a ring in 9 months, and I want to be married a year and a half, maybe 2 years.
See, like the Lord said, you've had 5 husbands, and he that is with you now is not that husband. Well, with this one, it sounds more like 30 or 40. All right, we're not going to count, the 2-3 at a time, because that's the thing, or the 1 or 2 that you shared with one with another woman or 2, that whole sort of thing too. Because my love last interest dropped that bomb on me, years into the relationship, her, because she asked me something, if I don't know if she was trying to test me or trying to, fix us to see, about me and her and another wife. And I was like, nah, one wife at a time. Well, one woman at a time. Even if you got multiple wives, you can't have women doing stuff like that. And yeah, so a lot of women then, have done that. You'd be amazed, and we're talking about women in their 40s and 50s. Especially those 90s and 2000s women. You know, they were some of the worst. You got to listen to think about the music and the lifestyle. All the music from that time was all about them being bust downs and getting trains ran on them, and, you know, and that whole sort of thing. All the rap music they listen to. So they sit up, get high, and weed, and then the stories that I hear from, you know, from college and military, the stuff I've seen from college and the military. Because when I was in the military, I had interactions with college girls. So I know what was going on. All right? And I definitely saw how women were when they would come up on those bases where those military men are. The married ones included. Matter of fact, they were some of the worst. So this woman, let's get, you know, after she's polluted. And now science have proved, now we know why the Lord is so perfect when he says a woman is supposed to be with one man, her husband. All right? You know, because and these women want to be like men. The scripture says that a man could have, the scriptures are clear that men can have multiple wives. But it doesn't say that about women. And these women, and they angry, and they just want to be the man. They really do have penis envy. Problem is that men's DNA stays with you your lifetime. So if you've been with 10, 15, 20, 30, 100 plus men, all those DNAs are part of you, which will be a part of your unborn children. All right? Which why you have little badass psychotic children, or children that can never, you can't even pair bond with them, and they can't pair bond with you or your husband. Then they just grow up crazy and wild and be completely and totally against you. Or you women can't pair bond with a man because too many other men's DNA has, you know, is attached to your brainstem. She says she's had so much fun with so many men, and she's telling a potential suitor this. This is a conversation to him. The boldness of this, you know, this American SLUAT. All right? So as you can see, it's not just a ninja woman, you know? It's E-red ass too. It's just the American way in general, man.
So I'm looking for someone who is at that level.
Well,
and is willing to meet me at that level.
For sure. This is our first.
She's looking for someone who's a complete chimpanzee, which I don't think this man is. All right?
State, so
yeah, I
feel
know.
like
that's why I'm being crystal clear, because so many men look just like you have just wasted years of my life, and I'm so sick of it, and I'm not going to let it happen.
Well, I thought you were trying to have fun, so it's like...
No, I'm not having fun. I'm done having fun.
Right, you're done with fun now, but before...
I had so much fun.
Yeah, that much is clear.
With a lot of men.
Yeah, I'm picturing a lot of things
and
right now.
And I don't need to do it anymore. And honestly, you're really not my type. My friend told me to go out with you, and because she seems like you're the type that wants...
You are not my type, but my friend told me to go out with you because you're stable. So now you can finance my lifestyle after, and I'm going to give you this used up box. And I'm not even going to give it to you passionately. It's more like a chore. Oh my God. Man, the Lord got to please come back quickly and put an end to this wickedness. Let me get a couple scriptures, man, and wrap this up, because this shit making me mad. This is Jeremiah 3, because see, she's been married so many times, according to her, because she's had fun with so many men. So, yeah. But this is Jeremiah 3:1, and it reads, "They say, if a man put away his wife, and she go from him and become another man's, shall he return unto her again? Shall not that land be greatly polluted?" See, because all them different sperm specimens, you cannot pair bond with your husband anymore. And you definitely won't be able to pair bond with the many, because you're going to just continue to keep getting this DNA, all this semen from all these different men that attach to you, and you get all these different spirits on you. And then you know, and then you find a guy who's financially in a position that you desire, and now he's just supposed to accept your polluted ass. Shall not that land, meaning her womb, all right, be greatly polluted? But thou hast played the harlot with many lovers. She just told on herself, proudly told on herself. Yet return again to me, saith Yahweh. No, bitch, don't come over here. You can keep that fish smelling loose ass box right where it is, man. Don't nobody want that shit. All right? Go on about your business. You and your baby. All right? Let me grab one more. Oh yeah, didn't read that one. Let me go back to Ciroc. Oh, before I even read that, let me play this short video. I don't even put it on the screen. You just listen to it. And she's I'm a toxic wife. Now she's clowning toxic women. All right. So she's not saying this about herself. She's making fun of how effed up women are out here. So just keep that in mind. This is a Edomite woman. In appearance, she's got them nasty ass dreads, but but let's play her video. And I clicked on it's on the Instagram. I just clicked on some other shit. I don't know where you came from here.
Hi, I'm a toxic mom. Of course my kids are my emotional support system.
I will show it.
Hi, I'm a toxic mom. Of course my kids loving their dad means that they hate me. Hi, I'm a toxic mom. Of course my kids can spend all the time in the world with my family, but if they spend any time with dad's family, that means he's not executing his parental responsibilities. Hi, I'm a toxic mom. Of course I'm going to tell the school and the doctor's office that dad's not allowed to have any of that information and they better not release it to him. But then I'm going to tell everybody else that he doesn't try to actively be involved in his child's life. Hi, I'm a toxic mom. Of course I'm going to throw any presents away dad sends. Ew, I don't want his shit in my house. Hi, I'm a toxic mom. Of course I'm going to accuse dad of everything I'm doing so it looks like a giant tit for tat game. Hi, I'm a toxic mom. Of course I'm going to make my children feel massive amounts of guilt and emotionally gaslight them every time they're to enjoy anything that has to do with their dad. Hi, I'm a toxic mom. Of course I'm going to make everything so difficult and make dad's life as miserable as possible to have any kind of involvement or engagement with his kid. And then when he chooses to no longer engage in my abuse or allow me to abuse him, I'm going to call him a deadbeat and say that he walked away from his kids. I'm a toxic mom.
Right. And then she'll collect child support. All right, which is illegal according to the Constitution, and it's fraud. All right, for those of you who don't know, you can look this up for yourself. Title 4D child support is out of The Hague. It's not even from America. And it is actually unconstitutional and illegal to force or to try to put American citizens under a foreign treaty. Title 4D child support is a foreign treaty which these wicked, adulterous women are using, and it's because Esau Edom. These toxic women. This is a creation of the so-called white man. And as a matter of fact, if it wasn't for the fact that Title 4D is now destroying white families and white males, the information that I'm sharing with you would not even be known. Now they're trying to do something to stop it. But when it was just destroying the so-called black family, all right, they didn't care. Besides, they make money from enforcing this fraud, and that's what it's all about. And letting women gad abroad, and then they teach them that matter of fact, not only collect from your husband, all right, from the father of your first child or first couple children, go out and have children with other men, all right, and create more toxic human beings that have all this different DNA attached to them that will grow up and be menaces to society, to fund all the to fill up the prison houses, because that's typically, according to statistics, that's what happens, or their daughters grow up and repeat the same cycle. Thus, the name of this video. All right? American whorehouse culture. The Lord is going to come and bring an end to it. So you know what? I'm going to let Sister Girls, because she went so hard, we're going to let her speak one more time, because she lit their ass up. We'll close with that. Let's let her speak one more time.
I stand with NDRE for speaking out against twerking at Essence Fest. Thank you, sis. So we got all these hoes out here splitting their asses and vaginas wide open. Yeah, she ain't had no panties on. and you got every infection and you want a nigga to eat that shit, but you done had it, you done drug it all across the goddamn floor, the janitors and shit, and drug the nasty mop, the mop water, and you done put your pussy, the womb, the damn portal of life and death.
You
just put the shit on the floor.
You queens.
And drag it around like a goddamn bitch in heat. That's what I see. You know how dogs look when they drag their ass around because they got worms? That's what I see with all this twerking. Like, what the fuck is in your ass? You need to get out so much. Sit down. Just, you don't know what to do with your energy. The truth, check your sisterhood. Check the next time you see that Cardi B video and you twerking and twerking. Ask yourself, what the fuck am I twerking for? How is this edifying my community? How is this edifying me? How is this edifying my children? When I shake my naked ass on stage and get out in front of the world and put my camera on, what am I representing about my black community? What am I saying about my legacy?
And this is why the nations scorn and scoff at our people and treat them the way the girls, you know, the halfway decent looking ones go overseas to get shat on and do donkey and horse shows, you know, in Abu Dhabi, you know. OnlyFans, all that's about to dry up. That's going to be gone, and then you women are going to be absolutely worth nothing. And all the men that, you know, these simp ass men who's paid for this shit, they're not going to be able to pay for it anymore, and a lot of them are going to come take it for free because there's going to be lawlessness out here. All right, this society before it collapses is going to go into complete and total lawlessness. All right, and it's going to be that way for a period of time. And it's going to be a lot of death, a lot of grapes, a lot of abuse, all right, because they need that to happen in order to get people to line up to accept, you know, the MOTB. All that is upon us. All right, so time is short. And you know, for many of you know, for those of you who believe, just stay in repentance and stay and pray. All right. But for the majority of our people, it's already too late. 2/3 is a greater number than the 1/3. So with that, I want to give all praise, all honor and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah Kodash, Kwam Yasharala, Abad Babal.